In this video, I'm going to try to wrap up 2022 in media for me, and all in all, it was a pretty bad year, but I'm going to try and rank all of the things that I've reviewed this year in under 10 minutes. I reviewed all of them but one in long form format, if you want more detail than is present here. I'll put links in the description below to the playlists for the long form reviews for anyone interested in more resolution, or finding out more about how and why I came to these conclusions. Going from worst to best so we can finish on a high note. At number 5, the worst of the worst, Witcher Blood Origin. It came in right at the buzzer and stole the Worst Series of the Year award. It's a cut down miniseries that disrespects and undermines the lore while relying on lore entirely. It's filled with jargon that's never really defined in the show, such as the conjunction of the spheres. So if you know The Witcher, it will probably make you very angry for many things, including what they did to Eredin. And if you don't know The Witcher, you will likely need to consult a wiki or you'll be totally lost. So Netflix appears to have made a show literally for no one. It's filled with ham acting. I've seen people put more depth into D&D characters than the actors get here. The only thing it really delivers on is shallow representation that seems to have been the point of the entire enterprise. It certainly wasn't the script. But if what you were hoping for more than anything else in 2022 was to see a fantasy series with hot man-elf on man-elf action, or a non-hetero woman with dwarfism taking lines verbatim from the Terminator with absolutely no sense of shame,
Come with me if you want to live.
this series may be for you. At number 4, She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It was billed as a legal drama fused with a superhero comedy show, written by people with seemingly little to no understanding of the law, containing little to no drama, almost no superheroism, and the closest She-Hulk gets to heroism is getting angry and destroying a multi-storey car park full of cars while trying to maim the superhero Daredevil. It also had no comedy that I could ascertain anywhere in any of the 9 episodes. The character and writers, however, do display an interesting but inadvertent case study into the mental processes of a vulnerable narcissist. The whole show was a half-baked mess. At number 3, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And what a year when this only makes mid-table. But don't get me wrong, this show is not average, it's really bad. It had a few good moments, but only a few, drowning as they were in a sea of terrible line writing, what looks a lot like repeated plagiarism, law-breaking nonsense that I still find incomprehensible. For example, in the source material, the rings took 100 years to make. In this show, it takes them an afternoon. This combined with characters seemingly teleporting all over Middle-earth, horses appearing from nowhere, basic fact and continuity problems, wildly inconsistent characters, accidentally taking the well-loved character Galadriel and making her selfish, insubordinate, bloodthirsty, stupid, and worst of all, kind of fascistic, and plot twists so telegraphed and hackneyed that big reveals in episode 8 I had seen coming in episode 1 and 2. And for the writers, if you don't want people to successfully guess that a mystery character is really Gandalf, maybe don't give him long hair and a big Gandalf beard. At number 2, House of the Dragons. A pretty good effort on the whole from HBO, albeit some actors in it are really quite bad. Many of the younger actors struggled to hold up, including the guy who was playing teenage Leonor, who could frankly not act wet if he was thrown in a lake. The fight sequences were also terrible, but on the flip side, it has an intriguing story with good effects and a tight script. Most of the cast are functional, some of the cast are great, world class even, and I find myself liking Matt Smith, Emily Carey, and in later episodes Paddy Considine. But for me, the show, which had many good features and a lot of promise, was dragged down somewhat by its terrible messaging, its obsession with family getting to know each other better than family really should, that and its consistent nihilistic and depressing tone. Just how many long birth scenes do you want me to sit through, show? Do you writers have a fetish for women screaming in pain? Because I don't. I don't like it. Nor do I like preteen pit fighting, foot fetish stuff, or the uncle trying to seduce his own barely teen niece. At number 1, and I am shocked to find myself saying this, it's Andor. Andor, really? I am shocked because I've disliked almost everything Lucasfilm has done since the Disney buyout. Rogue One was one of the better efforts. Andor takes its time in the first 2 episodes and builds up slow. It takes a pretty solid story with a few glaring problems, such as why the Empire would have a vault full of payroll money in a lightly defended base on a planet instead of, I don't know, in their place, I'd maybe have it on a Star Destroyer. And this is the problem. The Empire is still a bit useless. This is not rocket science. Even professional wrestling gets this right. The heel needs to win. You need to get the villains over. So they still need to have the Empire win more. This was a step in the right direction, but the Empire are still kind of useless. But at least this time, some of them can at least shoot straight. But that aside, Andor has a very talented cast, and some of the scripting and line delivery I found genuinely moving. Mostly from Fiona Shaw and Andy Serkis, and I found this a shock. I was not expecting to be moved watching Andor. If anything, the weak link in the cast, sadly, was maybe Diego Luna, which is not great as he was playing the titular character. But it's asking an awful lot of him to share a screen with Andy Serkis and Stellan Skarsgård. We had another year where shows repeatedly trashed the lore of the IPs they were supposed to be making shows based off of. Another year of Hollywood creatives showing open hatred for their own viewers, as well as an open hatred for the IPs they're supposed to be adapting. And another year where multinational entertainment companies seem to have forgotten that they're supposed to be in the business of making entertainment. So that was my 2022. The year pandemic lockdowns ended and nearly all entertainment was ruined by politics, which was a bit annoying really. Several years of the whole world needing some quality entertainment to watch to find that the cupboard was bare, and in the interests of equity, lunatics had been handed control of the asylum.